Hey guys, welcome for another episode of Love and Hip Hop Potomac. I mean, The Real Housewives of Potomac. This is season 9, episode 7. Let's get into it. So, we start this episode off with one of those little collage scenes where you see several of the ladies doing several different things. First, we see Karen. She's watering her plants and talking to them like they're her actual pets. So I guess those are her pets. Then you see Kiana. She's at her business, which is K Stewart's Beauty and Wellness. And she's talking business and discussing an upcoming marketing plan and meeting that she has coming up. Then we flip over to Mia X and Jackie O. They're at a place called Bolo's, eating and talking about getting more D. So now the first official scene, we show Stacy. She's at her DC apartment, her little bachelorette pad, I guess you want to call it, where she, does her. So she's there with her best friend, TJ, and that's how they captioned him. It said TJ, Stacy's best friend. So now they're talking, and he's saying how much he loves the apartment. And so she pulls out some materials because they're about to do a painting of each other. They're going to paint each other and then show each other's painting. And the winner gets whatever they want. So she asks him if he wins, what would he want? And I think he said something regarding the gym and working out and her working out with him or something like that. So then she said if he asked her what she would want, and she said if he wins, she's gonna give him a spa date for himself. So basically, if she wins, he wants, I don't know how that's supposed to work, but anyway, so she says, TJ, I'm flirting with you, accept this flirtation. And there is absolutely no chemistry between these two. I'm so sorry, Stacey, but it's not there. This is given very much Kenya and Walter. It's not a thing. He's a paid actor. He is an actor, we found out on the last episode. So he's playing an actor right now. And there's no chemistry. And he's not even trying to make it look a little real. Like he's not flirting with you. So we also found out not only is he not having sex, but he also doesn't smoke or drink. So it's just like, at this point, like, he's not even, we get it. You don't want to sleep with her. He made that very clear. He doesn't want to sleep with her under any circumstances. He doesn't want it, not interested. He's good. So that's where we at with that. And I just feel like he's not, like, we get it. You don't want to sleep with her because you saying the reason is because you're waiting until marriage. But there's a thing called lust. Like, at least act like, ooh, I can't wait till I wife you up because I'm going to tear that, and act like you're in anticipation of it. It seemed to me like when that day comes, he might be dreading it like, damn, did I say when we got married? I mean, 5 years after marriage. So, yeah. So now he asks, after they finish their paintings, they show each other's paintings. Anyway, so now they go to sit down and talk, and he's asking her, the status of her divorce and where she's at with that. So she lets him know that she is in mediation, and they're just, they're trying to figure out who's getting what and, arrange everything up. So it looks like it's making some progress. He's happy with that. So then she tells him how the ladies have been making fun of the fact that they're not sleeping with each other, and they're like, clowning it. So he was like, that's okay, they can judge me until they meet me. And then we find out that he plans on attending Jassie's event she's having for her man with Stacy's. So that's when he's going to meet the ladies. So she's letting him know, like, the girls are, like, laughing at us. They're clowning us. So he's like, they're not laughing at us. They're laughing at Jesus. And I'm like, Stacey, run far away. Keep it on a friendship, co-worker level. So now, the next scene is Ashley, and she's preparing for a little picnic, and we see Giselle's coming up. So Giselle arrives and she has like some stuff set up. She has a lot of beverages set up. I saw some popcorn and some pastries, but I really ain't see a lot. I'm like, what kind of picnic is this, girl? Like, I want a variety. I need a spread, girl. Like, I saw a big bowl of popcorn. I saw a big bowl of beverages. I saw a plate of pastries. And I was trying to see what else does this picnic consist of. Like, can a bitch get a hot dog? Like a sandwich, a cold cut sandwich, something? Like a finger sandwich? So now, it's 5 days until Karen's court date. And Ashley lets Giselle know that she's been drinking some olive oil drink, but it's good. It's like a detox drink. And she's trying to get her mother to drink it because she reveals that her mother found out that she has a blockage. Is it a blockage? In her heart. Yes. So now as they're talking, Karen arrives. So they're all like, hey, Karen. So they're asking Karen how she's doing and everything. And it gets to talking. And I guess they brought up the whole Mia situation. So that's when Karen was like, yeah, Mia, went to rehab for her opioid use, And she's talking about a YouTube video that Mia had posted where she admitted to being overdosing on opioids. She didn't say she went to rehab, but she did make it clear she had a problem with opioid addiction or something to that effect. I know she had an overdose, so maybe she took too much. She went to the hospital, and that's how she got introduced to holistic. She went the holistic route, and that's how she got introduced to chiropractic, and which how she started her chiropractic practice. Yes, that's what I'm going to say. So now Giselle's like, oh, Karen is deflecting. So they ask Karen how she feels. Your court date is coming up in a few days. And Karen admits, yeah, she's scared. She's worried. But she's going to put it in God's hand and hope for the best. So then she asks Giselle about Jamal, and I heard Jamal getting married. So Giselle like, more deflection. So Giselle's like, yeah, that's good. I'm happy for him. I've been telling him, you need to get married. You're going to be in the church and be a pastor. All that, you need a first lady. You need a wife. So then Karen asks her, how does the girls feel about it? So she says, well, he talked to them about it and they were confused because they didn't know he had a girlfriend. It was like she went from friend to fiance. And I'm like, girl, we already know how Pastor Holy Whore do, okay? So now, the next scene is Wendy. She's with her family, and they're going to a place called Harriman House to celebrate her daughter Cameron graduating preschool and her son Carter graduating elementary school. So, they're happy, they're excited. They get there, they order some chicken and some escargot, and then they order some pizza for the kids. 1 cheese, 1 pepperoni. So they talking or whatever, and now Wendy, why did I say Mia? Why am I thinking about Mia? Wendy starts to discuss her party that she's having, and it's going to be an all-white party. So as they're talking, we find out that her mother gives her mother an allowance, because her mother was like something about the party, and her mother was like, oh, this is why I haven't been getting my allowance on time. So she goes to her phone and was like, it was such and such days late. And I'm like, what, huh? Allowance? Like, so then Wendy explains that in her culture, in that African culture, Nigerian culture, it's expected that your parents take care of you. But when you grow up and become successful, then you take care of your parents. And the roles switch. So if that's their culture, I don't know. But I was like, what? But, I'm American, so I don't know nothing about African or Nigerian culture for that matter. I said it like they were two different things, but I'm sure they are, because they have different African cultures that are not necessarily Nigerian. So I think I got that right. So now, Eddie's, they also talk about the party, and now we find out that Eddie's siblings are going to be able to make it, but the parents are not still feeling comfortable enough to come. And it's like it's just some drama going on with this family that we need to take a deeper dive into this, because it's like, how could the hatred be that deep where you don't even want to know your grandkids, you don't care about milestones like this? Like, what is going on? Like, what happened in Nigeria? So now they talk about that, and Eddie's happy that his siblings are gonna be coming. And they give a cheers to the graduates. The mother saying how she don't really trust the people or whatever, but either way it goes. Wendy also, when she's cheering the graduates, she lets the kids know that part of a stipulation for their trust fund is that they have to get a master's degree. That's a stipulation in order for them to access this trust fund. And if not, no trust fund. So that's that African culture, baby. So the next scene, we see Ashley home now. I'm like, oh gosh. I'm going to discuss the scene because her mom was in it. Because normally, Ashley just does not interest me at all. I feel like, why is she still here? Goodbye. They should have sent her on her way right with Robin. And let them do the R&A or something, A&R. So yeah, but when I first saw, like when I saw the scene, I saw she was taking stuff to the backyard. So I knew somebody was coming, most likely Giselle. So I was like, all right, this is going to be somebody else in the scene. So now I see her home with her kids, and I'm just like, oh gosh. Mind you, I'm ready to go, like, to the bathroom or, like, go in the mirror real quick and, check my brow or something. And then I realized that her mother is stopping by. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I like her mother, so let me check this scene out. So her mother comes by, and she gives her mother the drink that she's having because she wants, help her mother with her health. So they're talking, and I believe the mother went and took some tests or something, and now they're talking about the divorce. And Ashley lets her mother know that she is in mediation and that hopefully they'll be signing papers by June. Now, I don't know when this was filmed. I always assume it's 6 months in advance, which would be December. But the fact that her and Giselle were having a backyard picnic, I'm assuming it had to be springish. Or summer, maybe. Who knows how they edited it. But yeah, so mind you, she says that whenever they filmed that, I don't know when they filmed it, but it was definitely before June. But June has come and went. We are now in November, and Ashley's Harvey still is not divorced and signed no papers. Girl, Bob, who do you think you're fooling? Not me. Not me. Sorry. So now she says, so her mom is like, oh, I'm happy for you. And now she's saying, oh, well, I'm glad you're happy for me because I want that for you. So now she starts getting all of her mother business, asking her about her man because, she don't like her mother man. She feel like he's no good for her and he's bringing her down and he's a loser and all this and that. And I'm like, girl, mind your business. Like, your mother is a grown woman. You can't tell nobody who to love. Honestly, you're going to just make her want him even more. Like, you can't tell nobody what to do and who to love, girl. Bye. Because nobody can tell you nothing about you and Mr. Smithers, okay? Next scene. Jassy, she's arriving to do a walk around for her event to celebrate Darius. This is her little Super Bowl social that she's having. Now, so Giselle is the first to arrive. Then we have Ashley. So they're kicking it, talking, and Mia and Ink arrive. So now when Mia and Ink arrive, Mia introduces him to the ladies. And Giselle's asking him, like, what's up with you? Asking about him. And she's asking, then she starts to ask them about the co-parenting situation with Gordon. And she's singing how she knows that could be difficult and kind of confusing. And she's just getting all in their business, and he really answering her questions. And I'm like, I would have been like, excuse me, Mia, come get your friend, please. Like, why is you all in this man's face asking him all these personal questions, Giselle? Anyway, so now Wendy and Eddie arrive, and behind them, Kiana and Greg arrive. So now when Kiana arrives with Greg, you see Jassy in her confessional, and she looking, and she like, well, Greg is much shorter than I imagined. So now, Karen arrives with Vivian, her friend Vivian. And as the men are getting acquainted, Mia takes the opportunity to approach... Kiana takes the opportunity to approach Mia about the whole, your man was a drug dealer comment. So she makes it clear, like, this man, let me right here, he ain't no drug dealer, baby. He's legit. So Mia goes, oh, he's clearly a social worker. I can tell. Now, that was shade. I don't know, like, that was shade in my opinion. Mia was being shady when she said that. But I don't think Karen caught it. So, hey, if you ain't catch it, honey, I ain't gonna start nothing. So now, Stacy and TJ arrive. And now everybody's like, is that TJ? All right. So Stacy's introducing him to everyone. So Wendy introduces him to Eddie as, she's like, this is Stacy's man. So he's like, that's right, claiming it. So he's being social or whatever he is. So here go Wendy. Like, when I look at him, I can clearly tell, like, this man is not sexually active. So now Ashley takes the opportunity to introduce herself, meaning basically be nosy and start getting in their business. So they start talking, and I forgot what they was talking about, but TJ made a comment about after things get physical, like basically after the sex, things get boring. So Ashley in her confessional is like, Stacey, run for the hills, honey. And I said the same thing. We agree on one thing, Ashley. That's one thing we agree on, honey. So now, Darius arrives with one of his teammates. So now, mind you, I specifically remember when Jassy announced this event, she said she made it her business to make sure all of the single players on the team was coming. So it's only one single guy? What in the world is going on? Okay. So yeah. So now Wendy asks him about his White House visit, and they're talking about that. So Jassy goes up to say a few words. So after she says a few words, I must say also, her and Darius do make a cute couple. They do. He's a good-looking guy. At first, when I saw, like, the pictures, I was like, this is who we let have 2 babies on us. But then, and when you actually see him in motion, he's not a bad-looking guy. I'm still saying he's not worth letting have 2 babies on, but he's not a bad-looking guy. Anyway, so now Mia decides to confront Karen, because guess what? Giselle done went and told her what Karen said when she was like, Mia went to rehab for opioid use. So now Mia's like, Karen, you is not want to be talking about nobody and coming for me. So now Giselle takes them to the side to go have them talk, and she lets Karen know, I done told Mia what you said, and they show the flashback of Giselle telling Mia. And Karen is like, to Mia, you've been coming for me, nonstop. And I thought you was my friend. So Mia was like, I thought the same thing. I thought you was my friend. So why you coming for me like this? So Karen is letting her know, like, I'm only coming for you because you coming for me, so I'm returning it back. So now they finally, they going back and forth. They get to talking, and finally Karen admits, she said, no, Mia is letting her know, Karen, I really care about you. I love you and I respect you or whatever, And Karen is like, you know what? You're wrong and I'm wrong for going low. And they're like, Mia's like, thank you, see, thank you. And just everybody's like, see, there you go. And here go Karen. But I will go low again. So Mia's like, I know. And Karen was like, girl, we know how low you go. Lower than the bulls hang. Lower than balls hang. So they going back and forth, but she's like, you've been on so many public balls. You've been on so many public balls, it don't matter. So I don't know why they keep playing with Karen. One thing I will give to Karen, she is quick on her toes, honey. If you're not ready, she's gonna eat you up. Like, you see Jacqueline kept trying. Jacqueline wasn't ready, so Jacqueline kept getting ate up. Miss Robin used to always try Karen and get ate up every time. And Mia, you be trying to come with it, but you just not quick enough on your feet, honey. It's like she eats you up, and then you come back the next day. You go do your research and come back. And then she still eats you up when you come back. So, girl, give it up already, Mia. Find a new target, because Karen ain't it. Anyway, So now, afterwards, Aunt come and checks on me. I ask her if she's okay, and she's like, yes, I'm fine. It's not worth it. So now the next thing we see is 3 days until Karen's court date, and she's meeting up with her cousin David at 7 Reasons. Remember, I don't know if you saw her show she had, the Grand Dame, some Grand Dame show. It was about her and her family, and he was in it. So they're meeting at a place, I said 7 Reasons, right? So she's talking with him, and she starts to discuss how she lost her mother, lost her father, lost her parents back to back. And then, you know, the issue she was having with the tax thing with Ray and having to, you know, come up with make some cash available to get them out of that situation with the IRS. And as she's talking, she's like, you know, I think everything just came to a head. So you see the camera person asking her in the confessional, like, what do you mean when you say everything came to a head? So she's like, I can't say. Matter of fact, I think I've already said too much. So I'm like, So now she's talking to the cousin, and we find out that David was actually on the phone with her on the day of the accident. I had no idea of that she was on the phone with him, and apparently he was on the phone at the actual moment of impact when she crashed. So I'm like, wow, I didn't know that. So as they're talking about it, he starts, you know, crying and tearing up. Mind you, I'm looking and I ain't seen no tears. So I'm like, Karen, did you direct and produce this scene as well and tell him to cry for you because it's 3 days to your court date? I don't know what's going on, girl. But anyway, so they start crying. So finally, we get to the final scene, and now we switch to Love and Hip Hop Potomac, because we're at Mia's apartment with her and Ink and the kids. Ink is getting the kids some popsicles. So now Gordon arrives. Mind you, before Gordon comes in, you see Jeremiah giving Ink a hug. So now Gordon comes in, he greets his kids. So Mia sends them to the room. Gordon is sitting there mad quiet, like uninterested, like stone-faced. So Mia attempts to start a conversation with him, like, hey, what's up, Gordon? So he's like, listen, I already told you I have no problem filming when the kids are there. I'll play nice and smile for the cameras, but without the kids, I'm not interested. So she's trying to talk to him, and he like, I'm not doing one thing to promote this relationship. You know what I mean? Fuck that. I don't approve of it. Agree with it. Whatever he was just going off. Like, I'm not doing no camera time with him. I'm not doing nothing to, like, validate this. So she's trying to talk to him. They're going back and forth. And Ink is like, Gordon, why you being like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, we cool. We get along. And Gordon is like, when I look at you, I see an adulterer. Someone who had an affair with my wife. You had an affair. Y'all committed adultery right after we got married. And she got pregnant and had to get an abortion. She got an abortion. So Ink is looking like, this is news to me. And Gordon is looking at me like, are you serious? So now, mind you, Gordon is like, and you think Jeremiah your son? And Ink is like, yeah, I told you that. So Gordon is like, so what you saying, that y'all committed adultery a second time? Like, so he keep asking him, like, basically, I guess he was saying after she had the abortion, for you to think Jeremiah was your son, y'all had to have had an affair again for you to even think that. Because why would you think that was his son if she already aborted the baby that was yours? But according to Ink, he didn't know she had the abortion, so maybe that's why he thinks Jeremiah is his. I don't know. But the whole thing is just creepy. I think this was too much to be on camera, to be honest with you. And Mia, you don't live in a big house. You live like in an apartment. So it's like your kids is right there in the next room. Even if they're looking at TV, you know they ear hustling. So anyway, they not answering him. He keep asking them. Like, no matter what they're saying, Mia's like, oh, look what you put me through, Gordon. And he's like, Gordon is like, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Like, was adultery committed? That's all he want to know. Was there adultery committed? Every time they talking, but Gordon, you got to understand, dealing with y'all, was there adultery committed? That's all he wanted to know. So, honey, he wasn't getting no answer. So Gordon was like, all right, y'all not answering, so I'll take that as a yes. Goodbye. Have fun. And he hit it. He hit the door, honey. And Mia tried to act like she was going behind him, like, Gordon, Gordon, Gordon. Child, she didn't really go behind him. But he went and he left. They show him walking up the hall. And then she goes back and like, Ink, I'm sorry. And he like, oh, this is what I didn't want. You know, the kids don't need to hear all that. They right there in the next room. They don't need to hear all that profanity. So now Mia fixes her mouth to say, yeah, that's what I was trying to tell him. You know, the kids don't even know you and I are an item. They think that you my best friend. Wait, huh? Gordon done told you that the kids done said to him, Mommy was in the bed with Uncle Ink, with Mr. Ink. Girl, are you kidding me? Mia, like, really, do you really think we are that dumb? Like, I don't know. Maybe it's that you lie so much that you forget what lie you told last season to this season. Girl, first you said you knew it was Gordon's kid because you had IUI. Now there's a chance that might, girl, you know what, Mia? You know what? You sold your soul to be on television. You have taken down the class of this show, because when the show first started, they was all about mannerisms and etiquette. And girl, you done came on this show and changed it to Love and Hip Hop Potomac going forward. But you and your ratchet friends, your ratchet boyfriend, mind you, I don't really feel sorry for Gordon because you get what you get what you wanted. You cheated on your wife and you had an affair with Mia. And look, and now she left you as soon as the money ran dry. Talk about she had 22 other locations of the joint and she gonna sell them. Girl, how you got 22 other locations and you was broke? And you downgrading, bitch. If you had 22 locations, bitch, you should be upgrading. But anyway, I digress. You know what? But I really am thinking that this maybe need to be Mia's last season because these storylines are just getting ridiculous. And it's like she sold her soul to be on TV. And it's to a point now where you're willing to make up any storyline, even if it means your kids being involved. Your kids are going to see this when they get older. And they're going to be like, wow. Anyway, that was the end of the episode. This episode was an okay episode. It wasn't, all that exciting. It had some good parts in it. I liked it, the little Super Bowl party thing of it all. Even though I'm like, where was your single friends at? Like, girl. Anyway, tell me what you think about this episode. Feel free to leave a comment, hit the like and subscribe button. And I will catch y'all on the next recap. Smooches.